everybody, welcome to Sandstone Ridge. Today we're going to be comparing this M44 carbine to the long and lean 9130 Mosin Nagant. So this old girl right here is manufactured in 1942. It's a standard round receiver Mosin Nagant. This is about as plain Jane as a Mosin Nagant gets. There was over 30 million of these guns produced. They've been used in conflicts from the 1800s all the way to present day. They're actually being used in the Ukraine-Russian war as we speak. These are still one of the most common surplus rifles that you can find, and for good reason. They're chambered in 7.62 by 54R. So when it comes to these rifles, a lot of countries got their hands on them. Some countries like Finland, they captured these rifles and basically turned them into their own service rifles. There's so many different variants of these. You could go on for hours about that. One variant is actually the M44 carbine, which was produced by Russia for troops who are fighting in close quarters, urban combat situations, where a gun that is this long versus a gun that is this long can make a big difference. So now getting into the M44 carbines. These are a lot more uncommon than your typical 9130 Mosin Nagant. I think there was around 7 million of these produced. This one is manufactured in 1945, and all of these have a folding bayonet, which is easily attached. It adds a little bit of weight to the end of the rifle versus the M38, which is basically this gun, but just a little bit shorter and without the bayonet. I'll jump right in and compare these two bad boys. All right, so the first thing I want to do is compare the recoil of these two rifles, because obviously one has a much shorter barrel. This one has a much longer barrel, and we're just going to see how much of a difference that makes, because in theory, a longer barrel, more of the powder is being burned, and there's a little bit more weight out front, so maybe there'll be less recoil. But then on the other hand, the M44's got the bayonet assembly on the front, which adds weight, and the barrel is shorter, so there's not as much power being burned, hence the massive fireball that you've seen at the beginning of this video. It's literally blinding at night. So yeah, we'll shoot a few rounds out of each and get a slow-mo shot and see how they compare. This steel butt plate does not do your shoulders any favors, especially after you shoot several boxes of rounds. Don't ask me how I know that. It's not bad at all. Now we're going to shoot a few shots out of the M44, see how it compares to the kick on that old 9130. Muzzle blast is crazy on this thing. I missed. Not too bad. You definitely feel a little bit more of a concussion on your face, but that's just because you're shooting such a big round from such a short barrel. It's really crazy. So I have to say, out of the two, I think the M44's got a little bit worse recoil. It's not really noticeable when you're shooting as far as the kick on your shoulder, but there's definitely a little bit more muzzle rise, and the fireball that comes out of the barrel, it's insane. This one definitely loses the recoil fight. We're gonna go with the 9130. Say if you're sensitive to recoil, it's probably a little bit better and easier on your ears. So for the next clip, we're gonna start out with the 9130. I got a couple of steel targets over there that haven't been shot yet. We're just gonna do a little accuracy test and see from about 40-50 yards. We're gonna see which one is easier to shoot accurately. I'm not gonna do a whole bench rest accuracy test and see, what the exact MOA is, but we're just gonna see which one we can make better groups with. So the ammo we're shooting is this tool ammo, 148 grain full metal jacket. We're gonna start out with the longer 9130, and we're gonna shoot that pink target right there, see how many rounds we can put close together. That's not a bad group, shooting with open sights. I wasn't really taking my time. I was just shooting one after another. So easily cover that with my hand. Next, we're gonna do the M44. I'm just gonna flip this over and we'll see how it shoots. I went ahead and shot one extra round with the M44 because on that first shot, I was aiming to the left. I was aiming to the right a little bit too much. I overcompensated. I was thinking that that gun shot to the left a little bit, which you can see that it mostly did, but I aimed too far over. So I went ahead and shot one extra round just so we can get a better idea, be more fair, you know. So as you can see, obviously, even with the extra round, the group's not nearly as good as the 9130. And one thing I think that makes a big difference is the sight radius. So to give you an idea of what I mean by sight radius, I'm lining up both of the rear sights on these guns to show you how far the front sight is from the rear sight. So on this gun, it's probably, I don't know, maybe 2 feet. And on this gun, obviously you've got like an extra 6 or 7 inches of sight radius. So with the 9130, I'll try and show you this. The front sight, if you move it a little bit, it doesn't move as much. And on the M44, if you move it just a little bit, it makes a big difference. Also, barrel length really helps with accuracy. There's more time for the bullet to engage the rifling, more time for the powder to burn. And so yeah, 9130 wins in the accuracy department as well. All right, so for the next test, we got 2 milk jugs filled up with water. We're gonna set them out there. We're gonna shoot them with these, see if either of them explodes bigger than the other. This test, we've got some old school Barnaul hunting ammo. It's 203 grain soft point. So this stuff's pretty heavy compared to the 148 grain we were shooting earlier. And it's even made in Russia, just like the tool ammo. As you can see, our jug has been vaporized. Here's what's left of it. Yeah, it exploded it pretty good, so let's do it with the 9130 and see what happens. I wish I could show you my camera. It's completely covered in water now, but the 9130 split the whole jug. Done a pretty good job. This one, I don't think is damaged quite as bad. It's the 9130. It's got all this barrel length, so it's going to have a little bit more velocity, a little bit more energy when that bullet hits, which makes the bullet expand. The little M44, I don't think it's got as much velocity and energy, so we're gonna have to go with the 9130 again on that test. So out of all the tests we did, the 9130 came out on top in most of them. There's a very solid case here for longer barrels. You've got a better sight radius if you're using open sights, a little bit better accuracy, more velocity, less recoil. This is definitely a shooter. If you want something to take out and shoot accurately and it's not going to tear you up as bad when you're shooting it, I think this is probably the better choice. This gun right here though, they're uncommon. You don't see them very often. If you ever get the chance to get your hands on one, I say do it, because these are a blast, literally and figuratively. These are the most fun guns to shoot. Whenever you're at the range, blasting a 3-foot fireball out of this thing, and the dude next to you is like, what is that guy shooting? M44. The fireball at night is just hilarious. It literally lights up the whole ground in front of you. If you want something for fun, get the M44. If you want something to be a good shooter, get the 9130. One cool fact about these If you notice how big the trigger guard is, it's actually made so you can fit a big bulky glove in the trigger guard. So these gloves are huge. I mean, they're very thick, and you can still use the gun just fine, because Russia is a very cold place, and when they were fighting in places like Stalingrad, obviously gloves could save their life, because if you get frostbite and you can't use your hands, you know, you can't fight, you're not even going to survive. So that's a pretty cool little feature. A lot of people don't know about that. Thanks for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got a favorite Mosin variant, drop it down in the comments below, and stay tuned next Friday for another video on Sandstone Ridge.